Hello, welcome back to Podcast Learning English, where learning English with simple and engaging dialogues is easy and fun. I am Carol.
Hello, Carol. Hello, all our wonderful listeners around the world. I'm Edu. Today's a great day to learn and practice English. It will be great to have you with us until the end of this episode.
Now, some salons and barbershops also accept walk-ins. A walk-in means you just show up without an appointment. So you can ask, do you accept walk-ins? Or how long is the wait for a walk-in?
Yes, and if you're a walk-in, be prepared to wait. Sometimes they'll say, we can take you in about 20 minutes, or the wait is around 40 minutes. That's normal.
Exactly. So once you're inside, whether you booked or walked in, the next challenge is describing what you want. And this is where things can get tricky.
Oh yes, describing a haircut is an art. For men, it's a bit simpler. We usually talk about length and style. For example, I usually say, I'd like a trim, just a little off the sides and back. Keep the top longer.
That's clear. And if you want something more specific, you can say, I'd like a fade on the sides. A fade means the hair gradually gets shorter as it goes down. It's a very popular men's style.
Right, or if you want everything the same length, you can say, I'd like a buzz cut, number 3 all over. The number refers to the clipper guard size. The higher the number, the longer the hair.
For women, it's more complicated. I usually bring a photo on my phone. I show the stylist and say, I'd like something similar to this. Can you do that? Photos are lifesavers.
That's still smart. A picture is worth 1,000 words, especially when your English vocabulary for hairstyles is limited.
Exactly. But even with a photo, they'll ask questions. They might say, do you want layers? Layers means cutting the hair at different lengths to add volume and movement. If you're not sure, you can say, I'm not sure. What do you recommend?
Oh, that's a great phrase. What do you recommend? It shows you trust their expertise and it takes the pressure off you.
Yes. They might also ask, how much length do you want to take off? You can say, just a trim, about 2 inches, or I want to keep the length, just shape it up.
And here's a mistake I made once. I said, I want it short, thinking that was clear enough. But short means different things to different people. The barber cut it really short, much shorter than I wanted.
Oh no. So the lesson is be specific. Use measurements if possible, like 2 inches or up to my shoulders, or show with your fingers.
Exactly. And if you're worried, you can always say, not too short, please, or start with a little, and we can take more off if needed.
That's a safe approach. You can always cut more, but you can't put it back.
True. Now, once the cutting starts, you enter another phase, the small talk phase. And this can feel awkward, especially if you're not confident in English.
Oh, yes. Small talk. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Stylists and barbers often try to make conversation to be friendly and make the time pass.
Right. They might ask, so what do you do for work? Or any plans for the weekend? These are standard questions.
And you don't need to give long answers. You can say, I'm a civil engineer, or I work in construction. And for the weekend question, just say, not much, just relaxing, or I'm meeting some friends.
Exactly. Keep it simple and friendly. They're not interviewing you, they're just being polite.
So, Edu, I have to confess something. Last week, I needed a haircut really badly. And I stood outside the salon for like 5 minutes before I had the courage to walk in.
Oh my God, Carol, I thought I was the only one who did that. I remember the first time I went to a barbershop here, I walked past it 3 times before finally going inside. My heart was beating so fast.
Exactly. And you might be thinking, why is going to a salon or barbershop so scary? Well, it's because you have to talk. You can't just point and stay silent. You need to explain what you want, answer questions, and sometimes even make small talk for 30 minutes or more.
Yes, and here's the thing. Today we're talking about real English conversations at salons and barbershops. And this is not just an English lesson. It's also a life lesson about overcoming fear and communicating in real situations.
That's right. We'll share our embarrassing stories, the phrases you actually need, and how to survive these situations with confidence. At the end, we'll break down key vocabulary words, so stay until the end.
And trust me, by the time this episode finishes, you'll feel ready to walk into any salon or barbershop and say exactly what you want without freezing.
So let's begin. Edu, do you remember your very first barbershop experience in an English-speaking country?
Oh yes, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was living abroad for just 2 weeks, and my hair was getting really long. I looked in the mirror and thought, okay, Edu, you need a haircut. But then the fear hit me. What if I don't understand the barber? What if I say something wrong and end up with a terrible haircut?
I know that feeling so well. For me, it was even worse because I'm a woman, and salons can be more complicated. There are so many options. Do you want layers? Do you want it blown dry? Do you want highlights? I didn't even know what half of those words meant in English.
Exactly. So I did what many people do. I searched online for hours. I watched YouTube videos about how to ask for a haircut in English. I even practiced sentences in front of the mirror.
Did you really practice in the mirror?
Yes, I did. I stood there and said, I'd like a trim, please, just a little off the top, over and over again, until I felt ready.
That's actually smart. Preparation helps so much. But even with preparation, the real situation can still surprise you.
True. So I finally walked into the barbershop. The barber was a friendly guy, probably in his 40s. He smiled and said, "Hey man, what can I do for you today?" And suddenly, all my prepared sentences just vanished from my brain.
No! What did you do?
I panicked. I pointed at my head and said, "Cut, please." Just that. Cut, please. Like a caveman.
Oh no, Edu, that's so funny. But you know what? I bet he understood you perfectly.
He did. He laughed a little and said, "Sure, how much do you want off?" And then I managed to say, "Just a little, not too short." And somehow we made it work. The haircut turned out fine.
See, that's the beautiful thing. Even when we're nervous and our English isn't perfect, communication still happens. People understand, especially professionals who work with clients every day.
Absolutely. But after that experience, I realized I needed to learn the right phrases. So let me share some useful phrases for making an appointment, because that's usually the first step.
Good idea. So if you want to book an appointment by phone, you can say, "Hi, I'd like to make an appointment for a haircut." Or, "Do you have any availability this week?" These are polite and clear.
Right. And if they ask, when would you like to come in? You can say, I'm free on Friday afternoon, or is Thursday morning possible? Simple and direct.
But here's the thing, if you're not comfortable talking, that's okay too. You can give short answers and they'll usually get the hint. Some people even close their eyes or look at their phone, and that's a signal that you prefer quiet.
True. There's no rule that says you must talk the whole time. Silence is okay. But if you do want to practice your English, this is actually a great opportunity.
Absolutely. You're sitting there for 20 or 30 minutes with a native speaker. You can ask them questions too, like, have you been working here long? Or do you enjoy being a stylist?
Yes, and most of them are happy to talk. I've had some really interesting conversations at the barbershop. One time, the barber told me about his family in another country, and we connected over being far from home.
That's beautiful. Those moments remind us that language is about connection, not perfection. Even if your grammar isn't perfect, you can still have meaningful conversations.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about something that confused me for a long time. Tipping.
Oh, yes. Tipping culture can be very confusing, especially if you come from a country where tipping isn't common.
Right. In many Arab countries, tipping is not expected at salons and barbershops, or if you do tip, it's just a small amount. But in countries like the United States, Canada, the UK, and Australia, tipping is expected.
Yes, and the usual amount is between 15 and 20% of the total price. So if your haircut costs $30, you should tip between $4 and $6.
And you can tip in cash, or sometimes they have a space on the credit card receipt where you write the tip amount.
Right. If you're not sure, you can ask, is tipping customary here? Or you can simply say, keep the change if you're paying cash.
And here's something important. If you're happy with the service, show it. Say, thank you so much, I love it. Or, it looks great, thank you. That positive feedback means a lot to them.
Absolutely. And if you're not happy, you can still be polite. You can say, it's a little shorter than I expected, or I was hoping for something different. Most professionals will try to fix it if possible.
True. But hopefully, if you use the phrases we've shared today, you'll get exactly what you want.
Now, before we finish, I want to share one more story, my most embarrassing salon moment.
Oh, I have to hear this.
So I went to a salon, and the stylist asked me, do you want me to blow dry it? I didn't know what blow dry meant at the time. I thought she was asking if I wanted her to dry it with a towel. So I said, no thank you, I'll just let it air dry.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
But then she looked confused and said, are you sure? It's included in the price. And I said, yes, I'm sure, thinking I was being low maintenance and easy.
Oh no, where's this going?
So she finished cutting, and my hair was still wet. She didn't style it or anything. I left the salon with dripping wet hair, and only later I realized that blow dry means using a hairdryer to style it, not just dry it. I felt so embarrassed.
Oh, Carol, that's actually hilarious. But it's also a perfect example of why learning this vocabulary matters.
Exactly. And that's why today we want to break down the key vocabulary, because knowing these words will save you for moments like mine.
Absolutely. So, Carol, should we go through the vocabulary now?
Yes, let's do it. Wإيدو, we used some really interesting words today.
Yes, let's break down the key vocabulary.
Let's start with appointment. This means a scheduled time to meet someone, in this case, to get a haircut or beauty service. For example, I made an appointment for 3 o'clock on Friday.
Next, trim. This means to cut just a little bit, not a lot. For example, I only need a trim, just clean it up a bit.
Then we have layers. This is a hairstyle technique where hair is cut at different lengths to add volume and movement. For example, I asked for layers to give my hair more shape.
Now, fade. This is a popular men's haircut style where the hair gradually gets shorter from top to bottom. For example, can you give me a fade on the sides?
Next is blow dry. This means to dry and style hair using a hairdryer. For example, after washing, she blow dried my hair and it looked amazing.
Then we have tipping. This means giving extra money to service workers as a thank you for good service. For example, in the US, tipping 15 to 20% is customary at salons.
Now, stylist. This is a professional who cuts and styles hair. For example, my stylist has been doing my hair for 3 years.
Next, walk-in. This means a customer who arrives without an appointment. For example, do you accept walk-ins or do I need to book ahead?
Then we have touch-up. This means a small adjustment or fix to maintain a look. For example, I just need a quick touch-up on my roots.
And finally, awkward. This means uncomfortable, embarrassing, or not smooth. For example, there was an awkward silence when I couldn't explain what haircut I wanted.
So those were our key words for today. Try using them in your own sentences. Practice makes perfect.
Absolutely. And remember, going to a salon or barbershop is not just about getting a haircut. It's about practicing real English in a real situation.
Yes, these professionals are used to working with people from all over the world. They're patient, they're understanding, and they want you to be happy with your service.
So don't be afraid. Don't stand outside for 5 minutes like Carol and I did. Just walk in, use the phrases we shared today, and trust that communication will happen.
And even if you make mistakes, that's okay. That's how we learn. Every conversation is practice, and every practice makes you better.
Exactly. So next time you need a haircut or any beauty service, see it as an opportunity. An opportunity to use English, to connect with someone, and to grow your confidence.
Thank you all for joining us today. Remember, real English happens in real places like salons and barbershops. Don't wait for perfect English. Start with what you have and build from there.
We'll see you next time on the Learning English podcast. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and don't be afraid to ask for that trim.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.